So I had dinner with Chris, a fancy dinner called Arby's, if you've ever heard of it. It's a pretty nice place. Atmosphere was okay. Girl at the cash register had bomb-ass fucking hair. Yeah, she did. It was like teal, green, blue. It was just so fucking cool. And I gotta stay high all the time. It's a metal song.
You're gone and I gotta stay high all the time to keep you off my mind.
Chris and I were talking a little bit, and he was entertaining the idea of moving down to Texas. So I might start applying for jobs down in Texas to see where it takes me. Because if I got Chris with me, we make for a pretty good roommate. He lived with me for a little while I was in college because he went to the same school I did. We're both kind of to ourselves, and we keep our own distance, but we both have interests in the same kind of stuff, like technology and motorcycles and shit. Obviously, I'm way more into motorcycles than him. Otherwise, he'd be vlogging with me, because he's not right now, dick. Mr. I got work to do. I need to make this light, otherwise I'm going to be pretty pissed off. God damn it. Mother. I'm guessing if you go the speed limit, the lights aren't that bad. And then we're gonna wait for this one car to take forever. Crazy how fast you get up to speed on a motorcycle. Yeah, so got to hang out with Chris, contemplating going to Texas for whatever fucking reason. I don't have a good one, but it sounds like fun. And I'm really looking for, like, I want to do something with my life that's not expected, right? Like right now I'm just working, I'm making a decent amount, I'm living with the parents, whatever. That's great. I did good. Good job to me. I worked my fucking ass off to be where I am. And that's perfect. I'm not disappointed by any means. However, I took very little risk. I just worked really, really hard. I put every ounce into creating a secure future for myself, right? And so I don't feel like I gave myself a chance to really gamble on my own skills and abilities too. And so, like, that's kind of what I'm pursuing now, and that's actually why I applied for one of the jobs at my work. It was it's something I can do. I would have qualified for, but it would have been so much to take on as somebody who was young as me. But I felt like I could do it, and that was my version of gambling. And I didn't have the choice. It wasn't a choice for me. I mean, I applied for it, but I didn't get to make the final decision, which is good. I mean, if that's how everything was, I'd be the CIO, right? Texas, I'd love to move down there. That'd be fucking great. What I'm looking for job-wise, listen, if anybody is watching this in the Texas area, I'm looking for a sysadmin job. I primarily have my MCTS and SCCM. I'm a solutions expert, technically, in SCCM and SCSM, arguably. That one's still one that I'm implementing. But if that means anything to you, reach out to me. I'm looking for anything. It doesn't have to be Texas. It could be Georgia, Atlanta. It's just not Minnesota. And that wouldn't really make sense. My Frozen Moto stuff wouldn't make sense. But I'm a man of my roots. I totally understand where I came from and being myself, you know. But that's besides the point. I'd like to get a job as a system admin who can do the work remotely and come in when I need to do, you know, local changes and shit. But that's kind of the career path I'm on right now. I'm basically the quote-unquote system technician, which means I'm a system admin without the privileges of most of the sysadmin stuff and the ownership. So I don't own anything major. I have the whole system center suite that I manage, but that's too bad. I could have stopped, but I'm also not really like... What was that all about? A couple of cops sitting on the parking lot, sidewalk, whatever. Alright, so Tyler wasn't there. That's kind of a bummer. I've been doing system tech, system support in enterprise. This is my 6th year. I'm only 24 in July. and I've been doing it since I got into college. My resume really should just be a snippet of all of my lab. Yeah, if you guys saw my home lab, oh, you would... And that's the thing. All I'd have to do is show an employer my home lab and I could probably get hired. The stuff that I built in my home lab before I lost my Microsoft development license, and the stuff I'm working on now is, again, on a level of ridiculousness compared to how old I am. And this is what really frustrates me about work, right? Not a lot of people take me seriously because I'm only 23 right now, going on 24. I don't have the level of experience other people have, but what they don't take in consideration is the fact that I've deployed a fully redundant ESXi host, basically a cluster. I've had pretty limited resources, but I did have an essential license. This is all tech mumbo jumbo. I'm sorry for anybody who's watching. I've set up ESXi hosts and I've done other stuff. Like, it's not just VMware that I've worked with. I've worked with obviously OpenBox. That shit's free. Is this turning into a motovlog? That's my resume? Yeah, I think so. So fuck it. Here's what I know how to do. What I've done, right? I've built an ESXi lab of 3 hosts, 2 core each. I've done partial live migrations, fully redundant SAN, disk to disk backup. So obviously my SAN backed up to a disk. On the hardware level, I've done some switching, some network routing and switching. I know how it works. I get the logic behind it, and I can troubleshoot it. I just need to do some Googling. Right? Cover letter, Google. I've done bare metal Windows Server hosts with Hyper-V, domain controller migration, so I've had 2 domain controllers. I changed the FSMO roles over to a 3rd domain, decommissioned the 2008 R2 and put 2012 R2 up, and then migrated everything, obviously. I've done all of the System Center. Now, I'm proficient in SCCM, so Configuration Manager, and SCSM, Service Manager, but I don't have a whole lot of SCOM, Operations Manager, or Scorch, Orchestra. However, if they're anything like those 2 other products, the SCCM, SCSM, I'll kill it. I'm fucking awesome at it. Stood up Exchange, but I have not configured Exchange. I manage it at a user creation level. So I make mailboxes and I manage the databases that the mailboxes are on. But besides that, I haven't really done anything more advanced than that or whatever. I've stood up Exchange and then I've done some user management because that's part of my job now. I do a lot of AD. I know AD like the back of my hand for the most part. I mean, I know pretty much every component and I know how to manipulate the system to make it do what we want it to do, really. Goal with AD is just to make it work. Clean it up. Make sure it's not spiderwebbed. You know, you have your tree, your base, and then you have groups on groups so that the groups don't get all intertwined and shit. My main job is to be a deployment expert for deployment. Software deployment, operating system deployment. AppV, so app virtualization through Microsoft AppV. I've stood up and managed SharePoint. I've done a ton of stuff. It's hard to explain. I've done a lot of SAN management too, not to like sidetrack from all the Microsoft shit that I do, but I've done SAN management through Nexan and a little bit of NetApp. I've managed to set up a NetApp enough to make it sort of work, which is an overstatement of the century, but I don't care. I've supported, in my first 4 years of college, I was supporting 200 desktops and 6,000 laptops. And in my current environment, I support 540 to maybe roughly 600 machines, plus some servers, so that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm really looking for something that I can do what I'm doing now, just more advanced.
Neighbors in the world.